Kadu.
Mama,
Oh, Mama.
did you have a safe journey?
Yes, indeed.
You see, many people come to me nowadays to find their roots. This is our tradition. It is still kept alive in our tribe.
Taluno Masimbekwe.
Ah, your name means God's peace. A strong Igbo name. My name is Achuku. Let no man question God. But before we begin, let me introduce you to my student storytellers.
I'm Songoli, the joy.
I'm Chuchi. Praise God. I'm Uchechi. God's will. I'm Sobechi. Follow God. I am Ushina. The Father's will. I am Emenike. Not by power. I am Enendu. Looking at the future.
You see, storytelling is kept alive in our tribe. It is an honor to keep it going for generations to come. You seem to be tired. You can go in our obi and take a rest. We shall continue the story at night.
Taluno Masimbekwe.
Did you have a nice rest?
Yes, it was very nice, Masimbekwe. Thank you.
You told me in your letter that your ancestors come from here, Omofia.
Yes. My father's name is Noye. He hardly spoke about his family. My grandfather's name, I know that my grandfather's name was Okonkwo and my grandmother Anasi. Can you please help me find my family roots, Masimbekwe?
Udu, it is a very long and sad story. But we have time here in Africa. Time to spend with those who come to us, to our culture, and to our ancestors. So listen well. Your grandfather, Ukongo, was a well-known man. Was well-known throughout the whole 9 villages, and even beyond. A fame that rested on solid personal achievements. When he was just 18, he fought Namaliza the cat. See, hey, he was tall and huge. When he walked, his heels hardly touched the ground. And it seemed he was going to pounce on someone. And yes, he did pounce on some people quite often. And when he was angry and could not get his words out quickly enough, he would use his fist. Ukongo had no patience with unsuccessful men, and Unoka was one of them. Unoka was a debtor who owed everyone money.
But was my great-grandfather not an artist?
Yes, he was. A musician with a flute. The following story may give you more insight. It is still told today in Omofia.
Harvest time. It's time again for my music to make me happy. When I was young, I often watched the kites sailing against the blue and sing and to welcome them from their long, long journey.
Yes, Unoka. That was then. Today you are poor. Your family has hardly anything to eat, and you owe every neighbor money. Keidu,
Mom,
Oh, I have cola.
he who drinks cola brings life. But I think you ought to break it.
no. It's for you.
No, you break it.
You break it. It's for you.
No, I want you to break it. When they had eaten, they talked about many things. About the heavy rains which were drowning the yams, about the next ancestral feast, and about the impending war with the village of Mbaino, and intricate rhythms of the Ikwi, the Udu, and the Ogene, and who could hear his own flute weaving in and out of them, decorating them with a colorful and plaintive tune. The total effect was gay and brisk, but if one picked out the flute as it went up and down and broke up into short snatches, one saw that there was sorrow and grief. Okoye was also a musician. He played on the ogene, but he was successful and rich. He had come to Unoka to return his 200 cowries he had borrowed from him more than 2 years ago. Among the Aibu, the art of conversation is regarded very highly. Thank you, Unoka, for your cola. But I think you have heard that I wanted to take the Idimili title. It's a very expensive ceremony, and I need to gather all my resources together.
You see that wall? Look at those lines of chalk. Each group there represents a debt to someone. Each stroke is 100 cowries. You see that man? I owe him 1,000 of cowries, but he didn't come to wake me up in the morning for it. I shall pay you, but not today. I shall pay my big debt first.
When Unoka died, he had taken no title at all and was heavily in debt. No wonder his son, Ukongo, was ashamed of him.
Tell me about my grandfather Okonko, as I've heard he was a wealthy man.
Indeed, he was healthy, wealthy, and respected. Wow! There goes Ukongo. Do you know how rich he is? He has just married his third wife. He is the greatest wrestler in all 9 villages. You know, he has already taken 2 titles.
And he's still so young.
Father told me about a young lad. I think his name was Igemefuna. Whenever he told me something about him, he got very sad. But he didn't tell me why. Can you tell me what has happened to him?
This is indeed a very sad story. So listen well.
Everybody must assemble at the marketplace in the morning. Everybody must assemble at the marketplace in the morning. Everybody must assemble at the marketplace in the morning.
Okongo wondered what was amiss. A clear overtone in the town crier's voice gave rise for concern and spelled out tragedy. It was a quiet night. Only on moonlit nights could one hear the laughter in the voices of the children. Children were warned not to whistle at night for fear of evil spirits. Dangerous animals became even more sinister and uncanny in the night. As the Ibo say, when the moon is shining, the cripple becomes hungry for a walk. In the 9 villages of Omofia, a town crier with his ogene asked every man to be present tomorrow morning. Okongo could not figure it out what the nature of this emergency could be. In Omofia's latest war, he was the first to bring home a human head. That was his 5th head, and he was not an old man yet. On great occasions, such as the funeral of a celebrity, he drank his palm wine from his first human head.
So what was the emergency and what did it have to do with Igemefuna?
Udu, you will soon understand.
Umovela kwenu! Umovela kwenu! Umovela kwenu! Umovela kwenu! Umovela kwenu! Those sounds of wild animals dare to murder a daughter of Umofia. Our daughter has gone to Umbena to market and was killed. This daughter was the wife of Okpuefu Uto. We shall follow the normal course of action. We shall dispatch an ultimatum to Umbena and ask them to choose between war or the offer of a young man and a virgin as compensation.
By all their surrounding country, their most potent medicine was known as Akati Nowai, was as old as the clan itself, and the shrine was in the center of Umofia. Therefore,
The shrine
was
in the center of Umofia. Therefore, okay, that sounds fine. We can just get that in now. Okay.
First wife. He belongs to the clan now. So look after him.
Is he staying long with us?
Do what you are told, woman. Since when have you become one of the Indishi of Umofia?
Come, Ikamafuna.
indeed, Ikamafuna was afraid. How could he have known that his father had taken a hand in killing a daughter of Umufia? He only knew that 4 men had come to his house and had spoken to his father in low voices. And at the end, he and the young girl took the long road to Umufia with the stranger called Okongo, in whose household he would be staying for 3 years.
the stranger whom he would call father.
I often heard from my father that his father was a very hard man. How was Okongwa's relationship with his own father?
Udo Shikwa, judge for yourself.
Okongo was rich, he was feared, he was respected. He had a good harvest and he was not lazy. His father was different. Once Okongo was teased by some boys saying that his father was Akbala.
Womanish.
Okongo was ashamed of his father Unoka. He had no patience for lazy men. Once Unoka went to consult the oracle of the hills and the caves, why you always had a miserable harvest. The priestess Chilo stood by the sacred fire and proclaimed the will of the god.
Every year, before I put in any crop in the earth, I sacrifice a cock to Ani, the owner of all land. It is the law of our fathers. I also kill a cock at the shrine of Ifejuku, the god of yams. I clear the bush and set fire to when it was dry. I sow the yams when the first rain has fallen and stake them when the young tendrils appear. I weed.
Hold your peace! You've offended neither the gods nor your fathers. When a man is at peace with his gods and ancestors, his harvest will be good or bad according to the strength of his arms. You, Unoka, are known in the clan for your weakness of your machete and your hoe. When your neighbors go out with the axe to cut down virgin forest, you sow yams on exhausted farms. They cross 7 rivers to make their farms. You stay home and offer sacrifices to a reluctant soil. Go home and work like a man.
Unoka was an ill-fated man. He had a bad year of personal god. An evil fortune followed him to his death. He died of the swelling, which was an abomination to the earth goddess. He was carried to the evil forest and left there to die and rot away above the earth. He was not given the first or the second burial. When they carried him away, he took along his flute.
What an abysmal to a man.
Okongo did not inherit anything. He was possessed by the fear of his father's contemptible life and shameful death, and laid the foundations of a prosperous future. Okongo went to Nwakibi, a prosperous man in Okongo's village, taking along palm wine and a cock. They sat in the hut with Nwakibi's sons and 2 elderly neighbors. They ate an alligator pepper and a cola nut in Nwakibi's hut.
We shall all live. We pray for life, children, and a good harvest. You shall have what is good for you, and I shall have what is good for me. Let the kite perch, and let the egret perch too. And the one who says no to the other, let his wing break. Now, Aye, I have brought you this little cola, as our people say. A man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. I have come to pay you my respects and at the same time ask you a favor. But let us drink the wine first.
Everybody thanked Okongo and brought out their drinking skulls. First, Okongo drank, then the group, beginning with the eldest man, then Anasi, his first wife, going down on one knee.
A palm wine tapper, Obiaki, has given up his trade. But there must be a reason. A toad does not just run in the daytime for nothing. The people say the oracles have warned him that he will fall from the palm tree and kill himself.
Obiaku was a strange one.
Oh.
We went to consult the oracle. The oracle said that his father wants him to sacrifice a goat for him. You know what he told the oracle? That ask my dead father if he was a fowl when he was young.
I have come to you. Perhaps you know what I have come for. I have come to you to ask you a favor. I have cleared a farm, but I have no yams to sow.
It pleases me to see a young man like you these days, when our youth has gone so soft. Many young men have come to me to ask me for some yams, but I refused because I knew they would just dump it into the earth and leave it to be choked by weeds. When I say no, they think I'm hard-hearted. But it is not so. Inekeda Bird said that since men have learned to shoot without missing, I have learned to fly without perching. I have learned to be stingy with my arms, but I can trust you. I know it as I look at you. As our father said, you can tell a ripe corn by its look. I shall give you twice 400 yams. Go ahead and prepare your farm.
I thank you for your trust in me. Na'aye, na'aye. I thank you.
You see, the year that Ukongo took 800 seed yams from Rakibi was the worst year in living memory. Nothing happened at its proper time. The first rains were late and only lasted a brief moment. The sun, more fierce than ever, scorched all the green that had appeared with the rains. The burning earth roasted all the yams that had been sown. Like all good farmers, Ukongo had begun to sow with the first rains. He had sown 400 seeds when the rains dried and the heat returned. He watched the sky all day for signs of rain clouds and laid awake all night.
The next morning he went back to his farm and saw the withering tendrils. He had tried to protect them from the smoldering earth by making rings of sisal leaves around them. By the end of the day, the sisal rings were burnt dry and grey. He changed them every day and prayed that the rain might fall in the night. But the drought continued for 8 market weeks, and the yams were killed. Lazy farmers rejoiced inwardly that they had not planted yet. Ukongo then planted what was left of his seed yams when the rain finally returned. Luckily, he had planted his own yams before the drought. He had stole the yams from Nwakipi. He could not make a fresh start. Then came the floods. It poured down in torrents and washed away the yam heaps. Trees were uprooted. This rain lasted too long, and spells of sunshine did not stimulate growth of the tubers.
That year, the harvest was sad like a funeral, and many farmers wept as they dug up the miserable rotten yam. One man tied his cloth to a tree branch and hanged himself. Ukongo remembered that tragic year with a cold shiver throughout the rest of his life. It always surprised him when he thought of it that he did not sink under the load of despair. He was a fierce fighter, but that year had been enough to break the heart of a lion. Whenever he thought about it, he knew that surviving such a year would make him survive anything. His father, Unoka, who was then an ailing man, had said to him during the terrible harvest month, "Do not despair. I know you will not despair. You have a manly and a proud heart. A proud heart can survive a general failure because such a failure does not breed its pride. It is more difficult and more bitter for a man to fail alone." Unoka was like that in his last days. His love of talk had grown with age and sickness.
It tried Ukongo's patience beyond words.
And my father Noye, how was he as a young lad? And how was his relationship with his father in Ikemefuna?
Ukongo had no respect for unsuccessful men and would call them Agbala or womanish. Noe had much of his grandfather in him, and he was glad that under the influence of Ikemefuna, he would learn some more boy stuff.
Congo had no respect and patience for unsuccessful men and would call them Agbala or womanish. Noye had much of his grandfather in him, and so he was glad that under the influence of Ikemefuna, Noye learned more boy stuff.
What is this? It is a flute. You see, you can play on it. Do you see this tree, Noye? It makes the strongest boughs. Do you know these birds? Let's set a trap for these little bush robins.
But you must tell me some stories, remember? The one of the kite and the lion? Ikemefuna, here's the goat skin. You have to accompany me to the village meeting. Get my stool. But you promised me the story, Ikemefuna.
When I return, I will tell you all stories. The marketplace is always full of new stories, and I will tell you all.
When looking back now, one can say that Okongo's demise and bad fortune actually began in the week of peace, a week when there should have been peace in every household. However, Okongo was a man of action, not of words.
Where is Ochigo?
She is going to play the air.
Where is the children?
They are here. They are eating with my children in the hut.
Did she ask you to feed them?
Yes.
What's the matter with you? You left your children here alone.
What is going on? What is happening? It's the week of peace. Let's go to the priest. Quick, quick.
Stop, Okongo! Please!
Don't. Peace be with you, Okonkwo. Here is a kola nut. You may break it and eat it. Take away your kola nut. I shall not eat in the house of a man who has no respect for our gods and ancestors. But she went to have her hair plaited, and she left her children here alone. That may be so, but you still have no right to break the peace week. We live in peace with our neighbors to honor our great goddess, whom you have insulted, and who may refuse to give us her increase, and then we shall all perish. You will bring to the shrine of Ani tomorrow 1 goat, 1 hen, a length of cloth, and 100 cowries. Who killed the banana tree? Who killed this banana tree? Why are you all dumb and deaf?
I only cut off a few.
What? What is this? What is this?
That is enough, Okongo.
I'm going hunting. Ikemefuna, bring me my gun.
That gun, they never shot.
What did you say, woman? What did...
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you hurt? Let me see. Are you okay? Come, let. Are you okay?
hurt someone?
She's bad.
4, 3, 2, 1, action.
Ekwefi, is it true that when people are grown up, fire does not burn them?
Yes.
But Noya's mother dropped her hot pot of soup the other day and it broke on the ground. My eyelid is twitching, Ekwefi.
Then it means you're going to see something.
What will I see?
How can I know?
Aha! I know. It's gonna be the wrestling match.
Ekwefi, let Enzima bring me some coals. My children have gone to the stream.
Take her some coals.
Let me make the fire for you.
Thank you, Ezekiel.
Okay, hold up.
The drums have started beating from the ilu. We shall be late for the wrestling.
No, it will not start until the sun is down. Is that an Abigail weeping?
Yes, she must have broken another water pot.
Mother, I stumbled over a trap. I fell in my pot, bro.
Don't worry, Obiageli. I shall get you a new pot.
Mother, you know, Obiageli, bro.
Listen, the drums are beating.
Here's your food, Father.
Sit like a woman.
Will you go see the wrestling match?
Yes. Will you go?
Can I bring your chair for you?
No. That is a boy's job.
Father, Obiageli broke her pot today.
Yes, she has told me about it.
Father,
People should not talk when they're eating, or paper might go down the wrong way.
Do you hear that, Enzima? You are older than Obiageli, but she has more sense.
Here, Father, Mother sent you this dish.
The whole village turned out into the ilu. Men, women and children. They stood round in a huge circle, leaving the center of the playground free. The elders and the grannies sat on stools, brought by the young ones or their slaves. Ukongo was amongst them. All the others stood except those who came early enough to secure a place. Behind them was an ancient silk cotton tree, a sacred tree. Spirits of good children lived in them, waiting to be born. On ordinary days, women who desired children would come and sit under its shade.
There were young men who kept order on these occasions, waving palm fronts, running around and beating the ground in front of the crowd to keep them back. Old men nodding their heads, remembering their younger days when they used to wrestle to the drum's intoxicating rhythm. Ekwefi, who had been watching the match attentively, suddenly recognized the woman next to her. It was Chilo. On ordinary days, she's a widow with 2 children.
Oh, Chilo, I didn't know it was you.
I do not blame you, Ekwefi. I've never seen such a loud crowd before. Is it not true that Ukongo nearly killed you with his gun?
It's true, my friend. I cannot yet find a mouth to tell the story.
Your chi is very much awake, my friend. How is my daughter Enzima?
She's been fine for some time now. Perhaps she's come to stay.
I think she has. How old is she?
She's about 10 years old.
I think they usually stay if they do not die before the age of 6.
I pray she stays.
Then the real match began. The drummers took up their sticks again, and the air shivered and grew tense like a tightening bow. The 2 teams were facing each other across the clear space.
A young man from one team danced across the center to the other side and pointed at whomever he wanted to fight. They danced back to the center together and closed in. There were 3 men on each side, and the challenge went from one side to the other. 2 judges walked around the wrestlers, and when they thought they were equally matched, stopped them. 5 matches ended this way. But the really exciting moment was when a man was thrown. Then the crowd shouted in one voice that it could be heard in surrounding villages. The last match was between the leaders of the teams. They were among the best wrestlers in all 9 villages. The crowd wondered who would throw the other this year. Some said Okavo was the best man, but the others said he was not the equal of Ikwezua. In the end, it was Okavo who used his rival's miscalculation to his advantage by swinging his right leg over his rival's head while the crowd burst into a thunderous roar. They sang his praise while the woman sang.
Who will fight for our village? Who will fight for our village? Has he thrown 100 men? Has he thrown 100 kids? And sent him to fight for us. Yes. Fight for us.
The next morning, a number of men from all 9 villages of Umofia came to Kongo's house early in the morning, and before they began to speak in low tones, Noye and Nikimufuna were sent out.
Roye, Kimefuna, outside. Please, come in. Take a seat.
Tomorrow morning, we will come and take the boy. I don't want you to have anything to do with this. Remember, the boy calls you his father. Let us leave.
Okongo stood still for a very long time, supporting his chin in his palms.
Ikemefuna. Ikemefuna.
I can't, Father.
Please, sit down, Ikemefuna. You are going home tomorrow. We shall take you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
Overheard what his father had said to Kimufuna, ran to his mother. She was sitting at the fireplace.
Mother! Father has told Kimufuna that they are going to take him home tomorrow.
Poor child.
Look at them, man. Tasty. Ay.
Look how she's washing.
You say it's washing way. Just look at this woman, how she's sitting here. That one is even chewing rubber gum.
Yeah. Washing where?
Esuluka yeta kahufi unanoshi. Shili naguteti okongo okushinge okongo okongo de jume. Father, they have killed me.
Noye,
Yes, Father.
come. Sit with me for a while.
Good.
Action.
Ikwefi, make me some roasted plantains. Ikwefi, make me some roasted plantains.
Yes, Congo.
Where's Obiageli, Mother?
Maybe outside.
But why can't I also play?
You have to learn how to make roasted plantains. Take this, yes.
Will this be enough, Mother?
Yes. Enzima, take this to your father. He has to eat it all. It is now the third day that he haven't eaten anything.
Yes, Mother. Dear Father, you have not eaten for 3 days, so you must finish this.
You should have been a boy, Nzima. Bring me my goat skin.
Dear Father,
You should have been a boy. When did you become a shivery old woman? Okonkwo? When? You who are known in all 9 villages. In all 9 villages for the clan. Now that you have added a boy to the number, why does it haunt you? Why does the thought of Ikemefuna haunt you, Okonkwo? You have become Agbala. You have become a woman. I shall visit my friend Uberika. Why does the thought of Ikemefuna haunt you? You who are known in all 9 villages. You have become Agbala, a woman. I shall see my friend Oberika.
Greetings to you, Congo.
Greetings to you, my friend.
Let's go to my office. I was coming over to see you as soon as I finish that thatch.
Is it well?
Yes, my daughter today is coming today. And I hope he will cleanse the matter of the bride price. I want you to be there.
Kaidu.
Kaidu. Your wrestling match the other day, it was quite impressive. I like the way you did it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Konko.
He will do great things. If I had a son like him, I should be happy. I am worried about Noye. A bowl of pounded yams can throw him into a wrestling match. His 2 younger brothers are more promising, but I can tell you, Oberika, my children, they do not resemble me.
You worry for nothing, Ukongo. The children are still very young.
Noye is old enough to impregnate a woman. At his age, I was already fending for myself. A chick that will grow can be spotted the very day it hatches.
Cut.
Sorry?